I'm making these chicken of the woods mushrooms. Not making them, I'm preparing them for tonight for dinner. So I'll kind of show you how to do that. It's not real complicated. Essentially just kind of just trim out anything that's maybe a little bit brown or nasty. I don't think you want that stuff in your mouth. I think there's some bacteria and whatnot can grow in there. And then I usually kind of trim out this bottom end here, and then I just cut them in slices like that. And then I'm going to soak them in a little bit of oil and olive oil and maybe some whatever kind of seasonings I have in here, teriyaki sauce or something like that. That's headed for breakfast. Gotta fill up again. Heading to a piece of public where I have several trail cameras at, and just gonna buzz around and kind of check them and see what's out there. It's a pretty, actually kind of warm day today. I think the high's 85, so I'm getting a later start. It's already 10 o'clock. Last night we went to that show in Bloomington with Shane Gillis, and a comedy show, and it was really good. It was fun. So hill country. This is just your typical Indiana hill country stuff here where we're going. There they go. Okay, got to go check all these cameras I got in here, and then just kind of assess what I'm going to do with them. I got my SD card reader, so I may flip through pictures. Cameras have been out here since like March maybe, so there's a chance they're dead, but got everything to refresh them and go from there. So these are chestnut oaks, and they're really falling right now. Deer seem to like those during late season a little better. There are some white oaks in here too though, so, but those chestnut oaks are like great big acorns. They're really falling right now. I mean, it sounds like it's raining in the woods. There's camera one. Just watching everything coming down this ridge on this trail right here. Get up there and see what it looks like. So I was flipping through pictures here, and there was a really nice 8-pointer in here in February of last year, a bunch, but he hasn't showed back up this year yet. So for early season, I think I'm going to just refresh the batteries in this camera and let it soak this year. I got a few more cameras back in here I got to go check. We'll see what those show. It'll be interesting to see if he's on other cameras in here throughout the year. Fresh batteries, fresh card, onward. Whenever I get back to the house, I'll look at that card a little better, but this may be a spot where they're not in during early season. Many bucks. That big buck was in here late season, which doesn't surprise me with all these chestnut oaks in here. They seem to really like those late season. That probably isn't ideal. This was just another camera I put monitoring a ridge coming down into a bottom. Nothing real special about it. Just had some bedding up in this area, and then there's a good trail coming down to there's private crop fields way out there. Let's see what it looks like. I think this one's gonna be dead because that limb fell down in front of it. Okay, that camera actually only took about 1,000 photos. I couldn't get them all downloaded on my phone, so I have no idea what was on the camera, but that's okay. So change the card out, keep on going. As I was talking to you, wrapping up my last little spiel there, a couple of deer got up and ran up that other ridge. That next camera is, I think, the best spot for sure. As I kind of get in here deeper, obviously, that's typically how it works, right? I think those deer were on this trail right here. You can see it's a real heavy trail going back into that little, it's kind of a hub back in there, I guess. There's also some historical rub right here, so I marked this spot where I could probably sit right back in there and get the right wind, pushing my wind back in there, because that low area back in there is super wide, so I think you get away with a decent wind. I'm going to walk down this trail just a little bit and then head up to the next camera. You may be thinking about, like, why am I messing around the woods right now? And I kind of try to put my cameras in areas I'm not going to be hunting. They're really far off bedding areas, all of them are, to be honest with you. Hundreds of yards probably. I mean, this draw right here goes back 300 yards. And so my camera on the end of that draw, on that point, you're talking over 300 yards, probably like closer to 400 yards from where I suspect they're bedding at. And I wanted to get in here and check the acorn crop and all that. I did spook some deer though, which I don't like doing. It's probably just does though. The way they kind of took off, they sounded like does to me. Out just feeding around middle of the day. Look at this razorback ridge right here, whatever you want to call this. But there's a good deer shelter coming right down it. Pretty interesting. Razorback kind of means, you know, like a razor blade. There's not much room on top here. You can see my feet. And there's the bottom of the ridge, and there's the other side of the ridge. Pretty cool though. There's the fourth cam. Just kind of looking over this open area down here. There was a scrape down there, but I look like I may have screwed up on this camera, because there's a good trail going right underneath it, and I bet they missed a bunch of deer. But there may be some sign down there too that they picked up, but may have to adjust this camera a little bit. All good to go again. I went ahead and freshened that scrape up down there. I decided just to leave the camera. I think a buck is going to have a hard time walking by this area and not going down there, and at least kind of walking around that scrape. So I'm just going to leave it. Seemed like it was taking a lot of deer pictures, but nothing recently though of a nice buck. That really nice 8-pointer was on there in February again, February and March, but maybe I'll find his sheds walking around here today. And this place has a lot of deer sign. So the hills, sometimes it's tough to find really good sign. Doesn't necessarily mean the deer aren't there, but in this area there seems to be a plethora of just deer sign in general, lots of trails and stuff. No rubs yet though, which tells me that maybe there's just a good portion of does in here. And then with those chestnut oaks falling in here like they are, kind of maybe tell me this is a spot I stay out of until the rut, and then come in and give it a rut hunt if I need to. So I think someone stole this camera. It was in that tree right there, kind of overlooking this little military crest that's up against a clear cut. But someone thought they needed the camera more than I did, so Gotta kind of take my time and look around, make sure I didn't throw it in a different tree, but I'm almost certain it was that one right there. Oh well, it is what it is, happens. Not a big fan of low lives though, and anybody that steals trail cameras or SD cards, the low life is in my book. Looky here. It's like maybe a squirrel chewed it off. Sorry about that. I restore my faith in humanity. I'm gonna fix this thing up and see what the card reads. Hopefully it was on there for a while and didn't fall off right away. So if you don't have one of these card readers, get one. They're like $20 to $40 depending on the brand, and you want to get a decent one, but these are so handy for deer hunters to have because you can just plug them right into your phone, and then you can check your cameras from your phone. Pretty convenient. Alright, heading back to the truck now. I'm going to see what time it is and see if I do anything else or go back and edit this vlog. Walking back on this old military crest, and there was 2 deer that just jumped up in front of me. They were does. I didn't see racks on them, but bed right there, bed right there. And they just ran down through there. There's 2 little does it looked like. I don't know if you can see that or not, but freaking cobwebs are horrible. I don't know what's going on with the spiders this year, but they are everywhere. I usually walk through the woods and I'll get a few and they don't bother me at all, but man, it's like a consistent mess of spider webs in the woods right now. Also, I'm heading back to the house, gonna check these cards and start editing this vlog together. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Sorry, there's a car in front of me going like 10 miles an hour. I don't know what they're doing. Hope you enjoyed this vlog, and we'll see you tomorrow on another one.